We are going to start on a very somber note. The world of cricket lost Dean Jones yesterday. Very tragic. There was a massive heart attack in a Bombay hotel, and he passed away pretty quickly. Just 59 years of age. Vijay, one of the most tragic incidents in the recent time. Someone who looked very fit, someone who looked very well organized. For him to lose his life like that was very, very tragic.
Yeah, and you're so right about his describing Dean Jones. A very jovial character, such deep knowledge of cricket. I remember Raja Raman 3 years back. He came up with a book, Cricket Tips, and he spoke to cricketers across the world, bowlers, batsmen, wicket keepers, on the many aspects of the game. That book actually reflected on Jones's love for the game. He really loved it, and he was always in it. First as a cricketer, then as a wonderful broadcaster.
Even though he was known as Professor Dino Vijay, he remained a student for life. I think he was always eager to learn. I saw a video that Ajay Jadeja had put up, where he went and met people who were making Mysore Pak so that he could understand the nuances of making Mysore Pak. So he would always go to the depths of anything that he wanted to learn. And that little red book of his that he came to be identified with very strongly must have been filled with lots and lots of notes every single day. Amazing man, always ready to smile and share whatever he knew. I used to meet him at the NDTV studios. Our meetings were brief, but he would always be polite, courteous, and always answer any question that I had. I think the world of cricket will miss someone like him, very bubbly, effervescent, and a very, very good ambassador for the game.
You're right about Dean Jones. There was so much of warmth in his interactions, and he would always welcome any discussion on the game, and he would argue, and he didn't mind conceding if he had to be corrected. And I remember, everybody remembers his first innings against India in a test match was a double hundred in the tight test match. And his last innings against India also was a test 100 at Perth. In different circumstances, heat, yes, but the ball was doing so much at Chennai, and then it was bouncing at Perth. So he was a complete batsman. He was a wonderful entertainer. He had a lovely career as a cricketer, and then he served the game as a broadcaster. Was the fact. It showed that he was always involved in the game.
We'll have to move on, Vijay, like IPL did last night. Very, very good game from Kings 11 perspective. A massive win over Royal Challengers Bangalore. And like I was saying yesterday, it was the Karnataka Force that beat Royal Challengers Bangalore. KL Rahul scoring 132, the highest by an Indian in IPL. A fantastic knock to mark a big game with.
Fantastic would not be the word. I think it was mind blowing. The kind of shots he played. He was picking the ball at will, good length, short of length. He was in a zone, and I don't know why he said when he came into the IPL that he was not really prepared. He was feeling rusty. He was a little apprehensive about his form. The way he batted, he was looking in good touch in the first game also. But here he was awesome. He had scant respect for someone like Dale Steyn. Of course, Steyn is not at his best, but Rahul was amazing last night.
Let's cast a look at the scoreboard, Vijay. Kings 11 making 206 for 3 in 20 overs. Rahul, of course, making 132 of 69 balls. Royal Challengers Bangalore struggled from the very beginning. Devdutt Padikkal, a star in the opening game, fell in the first over to Sheldon Cottrell, and after that it was a downhill slide all the way for Royal Challengers Bangalore. It was a one-sided game in the end, Vijay, wasn't it?
Yes, very one-sided, and that's the problem with T20 cricket. You either get a last ball, last over finish. It's very exciting. People love it. But then the game also dies early. I mean, like it did yesterday with Virat Kohli's departure. I mean, there was nothing left in the game. It was too much to expect De Villiers and the lower middle order to swing the game. And the very fact that Washington Sundar was the highest scorer, it reflects on RCB's batting, which depends a lot on Virat Kohli, and he's failed for the second time. He just wasn't there last night, and I think we need to give credit to Punjab bowlers, especially the two spinners. They did exceedingly well, and Cottrell, of course, he got two crucial wickets. So it was a good combination, and obviously Anil Kumble's mind is working very well. I mean, you can see it's going to be a bowlers team with KL Rahul leading the batting also.
We shall get to the bowlers and Anil Kumble's influence on the two leg spinners for Kings 11 Punjab. KL Rahul had a super day. I don't think it was a great day for Virat Kohli. He started off with joining the Prime Minister for a Fit India dialogue. And after that, of course, he was perhaps moved and shaken by Dean Jones' sudden death. And then coming into the match, very unusually, he dropped 2 catches, did not score runs, and then had the embarrassment of being fined 12 lakh rupees for Royal Challengers Bangalore's over it. I think it would have been an eminently forgettable day for Virat Kohli.
It was eminently forgettable, and it also shows that even a superman can fail. I mean, look at Virat, not known to drop catches, not known to fail with the bat in succession, because he didn't do well in the first game. Also, he didn't really lead well. He seemed lost. So yes, a combination of factors. KL Rahul's onslaught was unstoppable. I mean, they would have needed probably 22 fielders on the field last night.
Any number of fielders would not have sufficed because Rahul was clearing the field quite effortlessly. What struck me most about Rahul's batting, Vijay, was the effortlessness with which he was striking the ball. A clean hitter. I mean, you always think of Rishabh Pant as a clean hitter. You would think of Shreyas Iyer as somebody who hit the ball really well. And then, of course, Rohit Sharma, another one who can hit the ball really hard, time it sweetly. But Rahul seems to be in that big league at this point of time, doesn't he?
Yes, I think in your list I will add Sanju Samson. Only the other night he entertained us. So if you see the flow of Rahul's bat, he was connecting it very well. He was reaching the pitch of the ball, and when he wasn't, he was in the best position to pull. Even the ball deliveries which were pitched up, he was able to swing the ball over mid wicket, square leg, and he has all the shots. So that makes him a complete batsman. I like him when he plays days cricket, which could be a Ranji Trophy or a Test match, because he loves to build innings. He's a good stroke player to watch. But last night, I think he was trying to give a message that there is a definite place, a permanent place for this man in the one day team. They should not now think of tampering with his career. Whether he plays as a batsman purely or as a wicketkeeper batsman is for the selectors and Virat Kohli to decide.
We all know that Dale Steyn is perhaps over the hill, but Umesh Yadav, you would expect him to have learned from his mistakes in the previous game and come back stronger, but he seemed to continue to do the same kind of errors, drifting down the leg side and not getting his length right. Would it be a worry for people who have been big fans of Umesh Yadav that he doesn't seem to be able to grasp the lessons quickly enough and then come back stronger?
Umesh Yadav is such an effective bowler in test matches, and I'm surprised the way he sprayed the ball last night. And I feel very sorry watching Dale Steyn. I mean, what a wonderful bowler who once would terrorize all the batsmen on the international circuit, and today he's getting clobbered by youngsters, and he had no clue. He had absolutely no clue. The same as Umesh Yadav also had no clue. His line was very poor. And once they started conceding runs, they just didn't realize how to stop the run flow, and they caused a lot of worry to Virat Kohli, and I'm sure he has a lot to think in the coming matches.
Yeah, also I think that when your two premier fast bowlers go for so many runs each, there is a lot of pressure on someone like Navdeep Saini, a very effective bowler, somebody who cranks up the pace, can bowl up to 150 plus. I thought last night you could see the pressure on Navdeep Saini as well. one of the reasons why I mentioned the pressure that Navdeep Saini might have felt was the fact that in 1 over he bowled 6 slow deliveries. It was his last over. Perhaps he was trying a little too much. Every single ball was met beautifully by Rahul and Karun Nair. I think the pressure sometimes gets to the bowler as well. And I think Virat Kohli needed to be at mid-on or mid-off and have a quiet word with the bowler rather than be at deep mid-wicket or in extra cover.
Yes, he may have felt the pressure, but he has learned to bowl his 4 overs tight. I mean, why should he worry about what is happening to Umesh Yadav or Dale Steyn as long as he delivers? And I'm sure he is far more consistent than we think. And the very fact that he had things under control last night speaks well for him. And of course, there is one bowler RCB can definitely rely upon. 2 overs in the beginning and 2 in the death, and Saini would be, I think, one of the best bowlers in this IPL. As far as Saini is concerned, I think he must have been forced to do what he was doing, because you had to look for different angles and different length to try and keep Rahul quiet.
When you're chasing 207 for a win, you would have your best batsman up in the order. You would try and get as close to the 206 as possible. The lack of intent, the lack of desire to get close to that score was a bit shocking for me, Vijay.
The batting just came apart once Padikkal went early. Kohli had no clue to what is happening. I mean, last 2 games he has looked out of touch. It's time he got back runs for RCB. So it was Punjab's game with the bowlers as fielders or as batsmen. So, and that was one bad night for RCB from which it can take home many lessons and come back a better team when they come enter the field next time.
I think Kings 11 Punjab completely outplayed Royal Challengers Bangalore in every department of the game. We all talk about 3 departments, even in captaincy. Rahul was able to score a little bit over Virat Kohli last night for sure. Doesn't make Virat Kohli a bad captain. Quickly, let us discuss the 2 leg spinners. Very interesting choice that Anil Kumble exercised. Left out Mujibur Rahman one more time and preferred 2 leg spinners. Ravi Bishnoi, of course, a fairly new commodity. And then you had Murugan Ashwin as a support spinner. Both of them picked up 3 wickets each. Was interesting to listen to what Ravi Bishnoi had to say about Anil Kumble's influence and the thought process behind bowling to batsmen like AB de Villiers and Virat Kohli.
बस अनिल सर से ये है कि अपने स्किल को बैक करो, आपकी जो स्ट्रेंथ है उसको बैक करते रहो, ज़्यादा ऐसा कुछ ज़्यादा ट्राई नहीं करना और हमेशा कूल रहे और काम रहे, मैच को आराम से कूल रह के हैंडल करें बस। जैसे कि तैयारी तो जैसे हमारा कैंप चल रहा था बहुत लंबे टाइम से, तो उससे अच्छी चल रही थी, जो मेंटली ज़्यादा प्रिपेयर कर रहे थे। स्किल लेवल अभी यहाँ के सबका बराबर हो जाता, बस वही है जहाँ मेंटली जो स्ट्रॉन्ग रहेगा या ब्रेव रहेगा तो वो वहाँ काम आता है। बस वही फोकस कर रहा था मैं कि मैं अपने आप से कुछ ऐसी लूज डिलीवरी नहीं दूं कि जो मेरे पे अटैक करे बस।
Vijay, we heard Ravi Bishnoi speak glowingly about Anil Kumble's influence. It seems that he spent more time talking about how to think a batsman out.
If Anil is there as the coach, you can rest assured that he is going to teach the bowlers to outthink the batsman, because that is what he did all his career. He loved to set up, and his reading. I mean, he is able to read the batsman so beautifully. Same applies to Bishnoi and Ashwin. I must say, they're extremely fortunate that at such young age they are able to come in touch and spend so much time with one of the greatest leg spinners the game has known. And it is for their benefit if they pick up the lessons as early as possible. And I think it is an indication, Raja Raman, of the times to come, because Kumble is going to rely on these 2 spinners a lot, looking at the pitches, looking at the strength of Punjab's bowling, and the fact that they bring constant pressure on the batsman with their style of bowling.
I think what impressed me most was the fact that while everyone keeps talking about how Bishnoi liked to bowl the googly a lot more, he actually picked up a wicket with a leg break. It was fascinating to see that he could stage a comeback. He did not have the greatest of first over, and it did look like both the youngsters that we had our eyes on, Devdutt Padikkal and then Ravi Bishnoi, both of them would have disappointing night. but it was nice to see Ravi Bishnoi turn it all around and then finish with 3 wickets.
Yeah, I mean that's what the trend has been in this IPL as far as leg spinners are concerned. If you see all the leg spinners, they're able to get some turn, and they're relying a lot on the googly. I mean, look at how effectively Chahal is using the googly and is keeping the batsman guessing. It depends on the skill of the bowler and when he would look to bowl the flipper or the googly or the normal leg spin. So we are in for some good treat from the spinners in this tournament.
Before we take a look at what is in store for tonight, the match between Chennai Super Kings and Delhi Capitals, let's cast a look at how the league table is panning out. Royal Challengers Bangalore slipping down vastly because of that huge net run rate issue. But then these are early days, and I'm sure Royal Challengers Bangalore, if they can get their batting and their bowling acts together, will be able to stage a comeback and be in the reckoning for a place in the playoff. But it is good to see Kings 11 Punjab at the top. It looks like they have armed themselves with the best of ammunition and are ready to set out with all guns firing. Vijay, tonight's match is between Chennai Super Kings and Delhi Capitals. It should be an interesting game. Chennai Super Kings, having lost that previous game, will be looking to stage a comeback. They don't have Wayne Bravo yet. They don't have Ambati Rayudu. It's going to be difficult for them to challenge Delhi Capitals and the firepower that Delhi Capitals seem to have with its batting.
It will be difficult, but you can't, Chennai Super Kings. I mean, it takes time to come into the game, like Dhoni does. Dhoni also needs a bit of time to explode, and I'm expecting Dhoni to probably promote himself in the batting order. It is time he does that, because otherwise he's going to waste time coming in the, say, 15th over, 16th over. That doesn't help Chennai Super Kings. And Delhi Capitals would expect fireworks from its batsmen. They have a fantastic batting lineup, and it is, I think, the right stage for Rishabh Pant to come up with a good knock.
I think they will enjoy the fact that the ball comes on nicely to the bat, and that we all thought Sharjah was the bowler's graveyard. We have also seen Dubai and Abu Dhabi not offer much support to the bowler.
Yeah, let us hope we get a good game after the one-sided contest we saw last night.
It's going to be again challenging for Delhi Capitals to try and get Ravichandran Ashwin back into top fitness and then get his 4 overs in. It's going to be interesting to see how Amit Mishra faces up to the challenge if he's roped into the 11.
Yeah, Mishra, remember Rajaraman, he's a veteran now. He's one of the few bowlers who doesn't mind tossing the ball in the air. So let us hope he gets a game.
Thank you very much, Vijay. I hope to catch up with you tomorrow. Like always, it's been fun. We know that Virat Kohli did not have a great day, but I think it was compensated by KL Rahul's super batting last night, striking the ball clean and leaving a lot of wonderful memories for us to cherish for some time.
Yes, and let us sign off with a prayer for our good friend Dean Jones. May his soul rest in peace.